Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to another Guild Ball match report. This time I'm playing against Kevin, who is running a Mason's Hammer crew against my Alchemists led by Midas. And we're both playing proxy today because we're tired of this Faithball box being so delayed. So he's coming in with Hammer, VChisel, Marbles, Brick, Flint, and Tower. Meanwhile, I'm coming in with Midas, Nausea, VCalculus, VCatalyst, Venin, and Mercury. So you can see there's my kick. My kick was actually pretty awful. It was a touchback, and I was kicking towards Flint, which is a tactic when you are kicking off to try to kick to the guy that he wants last to have the ball in the turn. You kick to that guy, but that failed. And so we started on the opposite side with Tower, who's going to kick the ball to Chisel and move forward. I counter with Nausea, and then he moved Marbles into counter charge position. I'm going to go ahead and move up with Mercury, kind of sprint, and I'm deciding where this fire needs to go here. So I put it there next to the forests. I'm not so sure that's the best idea, but I need to keep the main fight towards the top of the screen there clear. Because kicking is always difficult. You have to figure out what your goal is for the first turn, and I want to be in this momentum race. Obviously, I don't think I can kill anything this first turn. So here we go. I'm going to go with Midas. He's going to pull up Catalyst with Lure of Gold, and then he's going to charge into Brick there. Marbles is going to take a counter charge, and I'm going to do something a little interesting here. I'm going to use my unpredictable movement to nullify Marbles' counter charge and kind of draw myself into cover there, and I still get to resolve the charge because I'm still in melee with Brick, just not with Marbles. So I end up scoring a double push, double dodge, and I end up pushing Brick forward. And instead of going like into Brick, I actually go the other way, and I think this is going to haunt me a little bit later there. So Chisel's just going to go, and she's just going to pass the ball to Hammer, and Hammer's going to use that to dodge forward. So now Hammer's got some great threatening position right now. Chisel's just going to park herself behind the forest there. I'm trying to figure out, okay, you see Hammer with that stack of 5, and it's always super intimidating. The other scary part here, too, is Midas used his unpredictable movement. And see, what I could have done is I could have blocked off Hammer's access to me by pushing Brick up against that terrain there and actually forming up a wall. That could have protected Midas a little bit, but that's not going to happen. Anyways, I go ahead and take my free charge with VCat. I am going to try to knock down Brick, but he's going to put that on Chisel, which is really smart. I'm going to end up just doing a little bit of damage to Flint, to Marbles, to Brick. And here's, again, another problem. You see, I pushed him towards me, and that's super bad. I'm pushing him towards me, and I'm like, okay, I'm basically just inviting Hammer to come in after Midas. So, not very, I mean, I want to get ahead on this momentum race, but I don't think this is the way to do it. This is a big mistake. So anyways, Flint's going to come around. He's going to do a couple of attacks to Midas here. You know, I don't think he's not really looking for anything other than a crowd out and some momentum. So I think he does manage to get like 1 on Midas, and the rest of it just dodges. So now that I've drawn Brick forward in this sort of greedy move to get some momentum going. So I throw Venin in there as well. Venin manages to get a poison on him and a couple more momentum, but nothing noteworthy. I mean, I should have just taken a much slower first turn and left Brick there to protect Midas. and made Hammer go into somebody other than Midas. Like, he could have gone into VCat. He could have gone into Venom. And, you know, instead, though, like, he's got 2 crowd outs on Midas, and Midas is not in cover right now. So despite all my cool pushing there to get some crowd outs and some punishment on Brick, it's just not the wisest decision. So here we go with Hammer. He's going to take the +1 damage, and I think he ends up taking some move. I don't remember. I don't think he needs it, because I think he just walks over and just starts wailing on. He's just gonna walk over and start wailing on Midas there. And so he's got the tooled up from tower, and he's got +1 damage. So the guy is doing, you know, 4 damage minimum, like it's his job. He's gonna essentially just wear down Midas here. Yeah, you know, Midas is at 5 health, but I mean 5 defense. But when you're playing Hammer, you just don't need a lot of high results when you're tooled up and you've given yourself +1 damage. He's just gonna move me around a little bit. I countered to try to get out of some counter attacks, but again, it's too little, too late at this point. And he's gonna end up taking his last attack there, and he makes short work of Midas. So Midas is out, putting the Masons to 2, and the Alchemists are at 0. He's then going to drop the ball there off to Flint. Absolutely perfect. Just really nice activation there. Gets the takeout and gets to drop his ball off with the close control. I finish off with a little bit of vet calculus here, and just enough to score a couple of momentum off of Brick there. You know, nothing great. And then I can pull the poison off of Venom and slide out. So, you know, these are good small ideas. They're not great big ideas. That's kind of the issue and kind of the theme of the game here. Kevin's not sitting on a pile of momentum. He's looking at 4 to my 2 momentum. No, I think I have 2 momentum, and I think he has more than 4 actually. He plays a big card here. He plays seize the initiative. I'm gonna play the one that's like +1, and I get 2 momentum for a goal. Because I'm not playing for a turn at this point. He's gonna take a dodge there. I think he takes the dodge with tower, and I dodge with that cat. You can see Midas coming in towards the bottom of the screen. I try to slow him down and just tow that fast ground there on the bottom. He's checking in. Kevin's checking in on defenses between Venom and Mercury. Mercury's at 15 health, 4-1 defense. Venom is also 4-1, 16 health, and he's got Brick parked in the middle, crowding out Venom, Mercury, and Calculus. Like, you really can't ask for a better situation than that. At the start of the turn, Kevin's going to throw Tower into VCat. And the reason why he does this is actually pretty smart. He's going to score a knockdown on VCat. And that's essentially going to save Hammer. It's gonna prevent me from tying down Hammer and possibly killing Chisel at the same time. And then he also gets to tool up Hammer. So really, really good activation there. I'll go ahead and go with VCat since that is off the menu now. Don't get the knockdown on Tower, which is depressing. So for 8 dice needing 4 results, couldn't do it. I end up just pushing him out of the way, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I do a couple of damage to him, but really I want that free charge on Chisel, and I'm gonna end up doing quite a bit of damage to Chisel. I think I end up doing like something like 8 damage to her, which is pretty impressive. But you know, still facing a lot of problems here with Hammer. Hammer is just such a beast, and you're not really sure how to contain him exactly. You know he's going to get his points. It's a matter of, you know, can I outplay the rest of the team? Can I make the rest of the interactions not very good? Hammer's going to go into Mercury there. Again, picking up +1 damage. He doesn't care about the burning. I don't think we played this right, though. I think he would have had to sprint to get in, because the minute he gets within 1 inch, he gets the burning, and it's -2, -2. So he would have had to pay for it, just like you would rough ground. It's not the biggest, it's not a huge deal, but he does end up deleting Mercury fairly quickly there, and he ends up with 1 swing here on Venom. Putting the Masons up 4-0, or 4-0 as we like to say. So at this point, I need some retribution. So I am going to go ahead and sprint with Midas on the fast ground there to move me 10. And then I'm going to have to heroic to get close enough to start wailing on Chisel here. So Chisel is sitting on 5. And I'm going to burn through a ton of influence here and just really kind of rack it up. You know, momentous 1 push dodge. I think I end up with a I end up with a momentous 2 at one point. And so I'm trying really 2 things. One, I want to start that takeout there on Chisel. Get it if I can. Make Midas's activation worthwhile. And then I want to put more pressure on Kevin to get rid of that ball, because Flint with the ball is just a nightmare. So I end up taking out Chisel, making the score Masons 4, Alchemists 2, and end up crowding out Tower. And he's got to think about what he wants to do with his goal. He's gonna just kind of casually walk up with Flint, knock in that goal, put the Masons up to 8 to the Alchemist 2. I'm going to throw this ball in, and here's an interesting scenario. So the ball's going to scatter where I want it to, actually. So that's good. The good news. The bad news is, with Chisel out, I don't have that 4-inch dodge waiting for me, because I've got no conditions on the board. That's a problem. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go with Venom. Venom is going to take on the poison condition, and he is going to push off of Hammer there. So he's going to score the momentous tackle dodge, which means nothing. It's just a dodge. I'm going to dodge out of Hammer. I'm going to take my second attack there on Brick. And let's see if I think I end up doing the same to Brick. Or actually, I think I end up yeah, I end up doing the same to Brick. Another dodge out, and then I'm gonna take my jog. Or actually, I don't take my jog. I just sit there on the tail end of that melee zone to try to prevent Brick from walking over and snapping the ball. And it works. Brick can get... He can't get close enough on a jog to get there. So you can see that's where Brick stops. Now it's interesting, though, because that does still prove to be an issue for VCalc. But I do have poison in the way. I have 4-2 defense sitting on Venom. These are nice things, again. Small, good ideas. Not so great big ideas. So with VCalc, I am going to go ahead and sprint, so that to kind of help me tack around and sit at the very edge of... I'm going to snap the ball and sit at the very edge of Brick's melee zone. Then I'm going to pull the condition off of Venom, slide forward and kick the goal there, putting the score to Mason's 8 to the Alchemists 6. You can see the ball is going to scatter over to Marbles, and I think Marbles just walks up and drops it off with Flint again. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot you could do there. I thought about coming into Flint with the snake, but, 2 dice, needing 3-1, and wanting 2 results is not going to happen. Instead, I throw the snake in, I believe I throw the snake in against Hammer. Of all people, no, actually, yeah, Hammer, and just to score a momentum, and so that's going to give me turn, but the damage is done at this point. It's going to be, I can't stop Flint with the ball sitting right there, and now he's got 1 momentum to boot. As I managed to win first turn, I put a grudge match on Tower. He's going to put the grudge match on Venom. So, I'm down. I'm down a score right now. And I need to figure out how to get 6 points in one activation, which you can't do. Not unless I had multiple people with conditions out right now. If I had somebody there next to Tower who was low on health. But as far as his team is going, then the only squishy target on the board right now is Flint, and he is well protected deep on my side of the board. I go ahead and take my charge on Tower there and just burn Tower down. So a free charge and a couple of damage. That deals a insane amount of damage to Tower, actually, with the wrap and everything. It ends up being, I think, like 15 damage or so. And then I'm gonna heroic on this last play because why not? It's gonna make the score look good, but unfortunately, Flint is sitting right there with the ball. There's not a whole lot I can do at this point. I'm out of position, and like I said, if I was able to save Midas that first turn, that would have been it. So, Witness Me puts the score 10-all. Flint's gonna just casually walk up, kick a goal, putting the Masons to 12 and the Alchemists 10. That's gonna do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.